Hello Go community, so I'm done with Figment's PC. It's a super PC of doom for Game Overview's Q1 of 2013. I'm going to build another PC for myself sometime when the AMD 8000 series and the GTX 700 series come out with the new Intel CPUs and the new AMD CPUs, which are all scheduled for the first quarter of 2013. So anyways, this is our build for now, and this build is made to last for the next gen of to compete and crush next gen consoles. This is it. So what we have is a GTX 690, yes, a GTX 690, the world's strongest graphics card in this machine, and the 690 has two GTX 680s. As if one was not enough, we had to get two, put it on one, have it on one card, plug it in over here. So powering this machine is a 1000 watt power supply, Mushkin Enhanced Edition. Great power supply. Unfortunately, it kind of does not have any modular cables, so that therefore you cannot remove the cables, but you have, thanks to the half XM, you have this beautiful plastic bracket that covers up all the cables neatly under this. Have the Crucial M4 256 GB, I'm sorry. Excellent SSD, very reliable. We have the 3 terabyte Green Edition hard disk from Western Digital. It's a budget choice if you just want to store your data on it. And then the Noctua NHD14 in the vertical orientation, I believe. It's not the horizontal. Yes, it's the vertical orientation because of the air naturally rising up, so hot air naturally rising up, so I decided to make it in this orientation. Thank God I did it in this way, because the GTX 690 pushes so much hot air from this side, and it really means so much hot air. It's insane the amounts of hot air it's pushing inside the case, and I did not expect that. I expected the cold air to go in from the fan over here, push it outside, but apparently the GTX 690 pushes hot air inside the case. That's a disaster in terms of controlling the airflow and temperature within your case. So if I had it in the normal orientation, the Noctua NHD14, the hot air from the GTX 690 goes up and straight into the CPU cooler. So this is the best orientation if you have a GTX 690 in your case. Just have it in this orientation, so it's going to pull air from this side. And if you're going to install the fans on the side of the case, I would experiment with push-pull and how to do it exactly, but I would put one fan to push in cold air for the 690 and for the NHD14 to cool the i7 what was it, the i7 3770K and the RAM modules over there, which are the Mushkin Redline. Forgot the model name. I'll put it in the description. That's about it. That's pretty much the build we have, and we have ViewGiant Heaven running in the background. It's running at 90 FPS, now down to 52 FPS. It's changing. It does not drop under 34 or 33 frames per second. Let's just check now. What's the frame rate over here? It's 34, 33. There we go, 33. That's about it. It's not dropping anything below 33 frames per second with all of the maximum settings enabled on the what do you call it? Maximum settings with the tessellation on extreme mode. The anti-aliasing is not at ×8 because that would be nasty to give it a ×8 and a extreme tessellation. So I put it at ×4. That's the only compromise made over there. Everything else is on max. And it's running very smoothly. I can see that the watt meter over here I have is saying that the system is drawing 360 watts of power, which is not a lot considering that the GTX 690 draws quite a lot of power, and the 3770K by Intel also draws quite a bit of power. Probably on Prime or on other software is going to run. It's going to draw more power, but over here it's drawing very reasonable amounts of power to keep the system running. So let's check out some other games. So here we are with DMC. Thanks to Pluto Games for providing the PC version of DMC. which just released today. And I had the opportunity to play the game early, around a week or so, and it's absolutely amazing. It's an absolutely amazing game. I used to be a big doubter of the series, of the latest installment of the series. I did not like the reboot, or the whole idea of the reboot, because there was still a lot of questions to be answered regarding Nero and Dante and Sparta and all. This reboot actually is a really, really good thing. It's really amazing. I just love it. I cannot express how much I love this game. So let's take a look at some gameplay. This is on the higher difficulty, I believe, Son of Sparta. I finished the game once already. Up, got hit. The difficulty is really curbed down from the original Devil May Cry's. As you can see, when I got hit, I did not lose my style points. I actually just got downgraded in points. Yep, there we go. You gotta use some tactics with some enemies, because when they have the shield, you cannot really do anything. Let me try and break his shield. Okay, there we go. And there's the Diablo whirlwind attack. Let's get him out of that corner. Oh, come on. Oh, he's stuck, look. Okay, there we go. So as you can see, it's not 100% Devil May Cry, but it takes from the older Devil May Cries and tries to improve on it, sometimes successfully, sometimes not so successfully. Overall, absolutely recommend the game. As you can see, the frame rate is running at a crazy 120 frames per second. I guess anything over 60 frames per second becomes extremely difficult to notice to the human eye, of course. Okay, just another test with Sleeping Dogs, a game that's very intensive for the PC. Let's see the settings. The quality anti-aliasing is at high. Extreme just kills any machine out there. I want to keep a good frame rate, like 40 to 60 frames per second, which is good enough for me. I've tested out on the high and it's around 50 frames to 70, so I'm happy with that. I don't want to go with extreme. The graphics look good enough as is. The high resolution textures, there's actually a setting for high resolution textures for the PC. As soon as you enable it, it tells you gotta download the free DLC, which is around a few GBs. A good option, good idea by Sleeping Dogs to have the texture pack apart from the game, because most people will not be able to use the high resolution textures because it's so intensive. But people like me who are enthusiasts won't mind the extra 2 GB download for the high resolution textures. Shadow resolution at high, shadow filtering at high, ambient occlusion, which also kills the machine, but I put it at high because it looks amazing. VSync off because we want to see the maximum frame rate. The quality motion blur at high, world density at extreme. We don't want to limit the frames per second. 3D is off because if I show you 3D, it's not really going to show on this machine, through the camera, because you got to be in front of the screen to see the 3D effects. But it does work with. I've tried 3D on this screen, the ES8400 46-inch Samsung. I've tried it with the AMD and NVIDIA cards, and it works nice. So let's check out the gameplay with the GTX 690 and the i7-3770K. Alright, so I have Sleeping Dogs running in the background. As with the settings I just showed you, it looks absolutely amazing. And I gotta say, I love PC gaming for this, is because you have the freedom in putting the graphics as much as you want, of course to the limit of the game and your machine. So let's check out what the 690 can do. It's running at 65, 66 frames per second. Let's go ahead. Okay, and avoid. Alright, 60 frames, still running pretty smooth, no issues at all. So if you're looking at maxing out games, 690 is the way to go. I'm sure you can do the same with the 680, but you'll get the benefit of the SLI with the 690. Although you'll have to keep downloading drivers to make sure that the SLI works. Okay, let's see. The game's really fun, I gotta say. Sleeping Dogs was really fun. I lost my save file, that's why I stopped playing, but it's quite fun. Okay, there we go. I'm running like a drunk guy. It's difficult to play from the side. Alright, 70 frames per second, no issues for the GTX 690. Even with the ambient occlusion, even with the high... let's try if we can put it to extreme anti-aliasing. Let's try extreme. Extreme. Okay. Saving. Oh no! Look at the frame rate. Dropped to 26. Ooh! Look at that. 33 frames. 33 frames. Anything above 24 is playable, and the standard for gamers is 30 frames per second. But since I don't like gaming in anything less than 60 frames per second, I would not put extreme. Let's check what happens with normal. I'm betting it's gonna hit 100 or 120 frames. Oh, look, it's going to 94 frames per second. The game still looks good, has some rough edges, running 115 frames per second. And that's why I set it to high, because it gives you a reasonable frame rate. What the heck did I just do? Okay, there we go. Still running way above playable, extremely playable, which is 60 frames per second, or perfect. So I recommend high for the GTX 690. So that was it. If you have any questions, just post in the comments below about the system or anything related to the system. I'll gladly answer you guys. I would definitely recommend waiting, I would say, before buying the 690 and i7 3770K, because the next generation of graphics and CPUs are coming pretty darn soon. So just wait a bit more and then make your decision if you want to stick with the now gen or the next gen graphics cards. Looking awesome. So be sure to like, subscribe, share our channel, and try and support us as much as you can, because we're trying to support you guys as much as we can. Thanks, and we'll see you in another video.